And I'm Rachel. I'm an alcoholic. Let's start over. Hi, welcome to the Recovery Daily podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Abassi. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and stroke survivor. And I just woke up from this nap. And you know, when you wake up and yet, like, you can't make a fist, like, you're so tired and you can't make a fist. Well, I also get this, and I heard it's a thing where it takes me a really long time to wake up. And I feel like, I mean, I've been up for like a half an hour. I feel like if I laid back down right now, I would be out like that. Like, I feel like if I closed my eyes while I'm sitting here talking to you guys, that I would fall asleep. I am so like not woken up right now. But sometimes my brain functions better when I'm not woken up, as oddly as that is. But I wanted to fit this in. I have a vestibular support group that's happening in 7 minutes. So it's okay if I'm late. But I knew that if I went to that and didn't do this first, I wouldn't record today. So here we are. I feel like the more I'm saying, I want to fit this in, maybe makes you feel like you're not a priority to me. And you are. You're totally a priority. And that's why I want to make sure that I do this every day because I feel like I've been skimping lately, and that's not good for my own recovery. Today's topic is we're going to see what it is. I'm not quite sure how it's going to come out, but one thing that I heard this morning, which is really neat to think about, at least it was in the moment that I heard it, is that like so there's this book called Slowing Down to the Speed of Joy. I don't know anything about it, but somebody recognized or mentioned it, suggested it this morning. And I was thinking about that idea of slowing down, which I talk about a lot, but I was thinking when we slow down, it has this understanding that we're stopping, right? That we're stopping what we're doing. But that's not what slowing down is. Slowing down is starting something. It's not stopping something. It's starting something deeper. It's stopping functioning on a surface level and starting functioning on an inner level, on a deeper level. Um, Things like believing, things like faith, things like breathing and mindfulness and all of that hoopla that we hear about everywhere. That's what slowing down is. And I thought that that was a cool concept, actually. But this morning's meeting was maybe not unrelated, maybe totally related, but we talked about I don't even know what chapter of the book we were reading from, but we read out of the big book, and um we were talking about like believing, and I've been talking about a lot of that a lot lately, but when I think about early sobriety and having the willingness to act as if, like, even that is transformative. Not just fully diving right in and believing, because I don't know if I think that does happen to people. I hear stories about it. Actually, I think that's part of the story this morning was about how this guy, he was in the hospital for alcoholism, and one of the recovering alcoholics from the sobriety program came to visit him, and he was talking about a higher power. And the guy in the hospital was like, I'm not dealing with any of that. You know, I don't want to have, like, didn't have an open mind. And then after the visitor left, the guy in the hospital was like, who am I to say that there's no God? you know? As much as like he felt empowered to say that, sorry, Autumn or Boris is rolling around around. As much as he feels empowered to be like, you guys don't know what you're talking about, like just stop and think, who am I to say that what I believe is right? And I don't have to have a full understanding in order to believe, in order to have hope. And what the chapter that today talked about was the Wright brothers and how initially nobody believed that a person could fly, that was possible. But the Wright brothers believed it was possible. They had hope. They had their minds open to the idea that it was possible. And that is exactly what I'm trying to do right now in my faith journey is that I'm trying to leave that open. What I was thinking about over the past 24 hours is I think it is just absolutely like of grand ego to think that we as human beings have come up with the mathematics and the ability to understand the universe. I think it's ridiculous, honestly, for us to think, even, if somebody is an intellectual and they don't believe, fine, but believe that we don't understand it all. We don't, it's like I hear that some of these calculations that the brains have come up with have been proven false. And that alone is an amazing proof that we don't know it all. And what I'm proposing, what I'm proposing here to the human race is that there's so much faith is believing even though I can't see. And what I'm proposing is that there's so much more that I can't see that I have the opportunity to believe in. I just have to have an open mind. And I'm not just talking about the book signs. I actually have been playing around with signs so much that I have forgotten whose sign is whose at this point. So I've taken a little break. Well, no, I haven't taken a break from it. I just recently, yeah, I think it was yesterday, asked my my dog Evie, my previous dog Evie, to send me a sign of a plastic bag floating through the air because she used to look out of the window and bark at everything. And so my husband used to say, "There she goes, barking at a plastic bag again." So I'm still playing around. It's still fun for me. It's it's an example of having an open mind, and that's what I want to have. Whether I believe in signs or not, fine. Whether I understand my higher power, fine. But the point is to remain open to participate in life, participate with the things that maybe I can't even see, that I don't even have the experience, I don't have the senses to know what's there in its entirety, and that's what I was thinking about this morning. Like my concept of my higher power is evolving, and I want it to continue to evolve. And the only way that it can do that is if I remain open, if I allow myself to grow spiritually and I release any need of defining everything, of actually understanding. I heard it great in one meeting. Somebody said, the higher power of not my understanding, because I'm never fully going to understand it. And I feel like it would be kind of a bubble buster if I did understand it all. I want to believe. I want to have hope. I want there to be something else in this world that I can't see, hear, smell. I just want something more to be there. And I believe that it is. It has to be. It has to be. Because this this world and this universe and space and like uh the dark holes and all of these things that we can't see, viruses that we can't even see, can take our lives, can be transferred from person to person and end up taking our lives. Sure, the scientists can see them now, because they have the tools to see them. But what about the things that are happening that we don't have the tools to see? Right? I believe that it's out there. And whether it's called energy, whatever word we've come up with to call it, I believe that it exists, whatever it is. So letting go of my own ego that says I have it figured all out is my path to growth, my path to just keeping my arms open, keeping my heart open. Um, Gravity is a perfect example. We don't see gravity. And the only thing that they have to that we have to measure it are, well, I don't know. I'm not a scientist. If I was, I wouldn't be sitting here doing a podcast. But, scales and all of these ways that we measure the effect on other things. Friction is another great example. All of these things that I can't see. How about love? Love is something that has its own gravity, and we can't see it. We generate it, we generate it. And if we can generate love between two people and it has such a powerful effect on our lives, then what an ego to believe that I have the final math on the seen and the unseen. Is there any math that describes love? No. I mean, maybe that is the perfect example. We used to believe that we couldn't fly, and here we are, Doubt keeps me grounded. Doubt keeps me from growing. Doubt makes me not be able to fly. But faith lifts me. Faith is that air underneath my wings. Side note, I think is something that I need to get rid of. Sorry if it's annoying. I'm trying. I'm trying, okay? So believing is a part of our human makeup. It's wired into us. And believing can't be measured either. But yet, believing is something that I just talked about it the other day. Believing faith can drive fierce determination, and yet it can't be measured. There is no math to define faith. But faith is something that is saving my life. Truly, it's saving my life. It's saving my mental health, because without it, I feel very hopeless. I feel very lost, and I don't want to feel that way. So I choose to open my arms and open my heart to something that I can't see, but I can feel it. You know, what about, I said it, what about these other things that we can feel, that we say we can feel, but we don't have a name for the sense, you know? Oh, wow, that is annoying. We have five senses. Who's to say we don't have more than five? Who's to say that that edge of sensing something or faith or that other stuff that can't be measured, who's to say that that's not another sense? Some people believe it so strongly that they do have a name for it. People, mediums, some people believe so strongly that they have been touched by God or that God has responded to their prayers. Um, we don't have a name for it, a sense in that way, but some people believe 100% believe wholly that it exists. Um, I don't have to be able to see these things. I I am choosing to trust in what I can't see because I have felt the results from it. And who should I like why should I allow somebody else's judgment about what I believe impact me when I simply put have chosen to open myself to faith and I see the results. I feel the results. Whatever sense that is, I feel the results of my life. I feel happier. I feel more positive. I feel hopeful. That's worth something. And that is what I'm going to continue to have faith in. That's what I'm going to believe in. That's what I want to slow down for. I want to slow down in order to allow for that deeper stuff to happen. I don't have to necessarily have tangible proof of anything, but when I can feel the impact on my life, that is the only proof that I need. I can't see it, I can't smell it. I can't use these other senses, but I feel like it's happening, like something great is flowering in me. And I'm just going to keep doing that because I need it. Without it, I will fall for sure. I absolutely will fall because I have felt that too over and over again in my life. So that's what I've got for you today. And thanks. So I'm inside today because it's freaking hot outside, and I feel a little more awake than I did when I started, but I'm still struggling. So I'm looking forward to going back to sleep in 5 hours. Thanks for joining me, and I will talk to you tomorrow.